Now, it's about 79 days to the conduct of the 2023 elections, so do not hesitate to get your PVC and be part of the process. Today on the program, customers, companies panic as CBN sets 200 naira as new highest ATM denomination, limits cash withdrawals to 100,000 naira per week. Nigerians in diaspora sue President Buhari. INEC asked court to stop the 2023 elections. And later on the show, Ribadu drops a legal battle against Binani over Adamawa APC governorship ticket. I will be hanging out with Dare Odufowokon and Habib Aruno. Journalist Hangout starts now. Well, a sweeping new currency management policy announced by the Central Bank of Nigeria has put a cap on cash withdrawals by individuals and corporate bodies. According to the memo released by the Apex Bank, individuals will only be able to withdraw a maximum of 100,000 naira, and companies have 500,000 naira in a week across the counter, beginning from the 9th of January. The revised cash withdrawal limits also affect other payment channels, including automated teller machines, point of sales, and check-based transactions. Mr. Habib, let's start with you first. What do you make of this arrangement by the CBN, which is targeted at promoting cashless policy? What's your reaction to this latest move?
I think the new policy should not be unexpected, given the fact that the CBN is trying to introduce new currency, So maybe they are putting in mechanisms to make it more effective and to make it work. I will start by saying that we should appreciate the CBN for what they have been doing the past 1 month, considering the appreciation that we have seen of the Naira, and some policy options that have been put on the table that have been working monetarily. But my reservation is that, is this policy a well-thought one? Was it well thought? Was it well thought? Were experts, involved in the way it was formulated? How easy will it be implemented? Well, considering the character of our economy, the informal sector play a very big role. Some might even say more than 70%, So how easy would they be inculcated, into the new arrangement? Because Nigeria cannot just all of a sudden, move into a cashless economy. We have to take it step by step. People in the rural areas, the bricklayers, the artisans, the traders, the farmers, how are they going to find these things? So maybe they are, maybe they know what we don't know. I'm not an economic expert, but as a modern casual observer, I'm not comfortable with the juiceful, with the rush. I think they should give it more time, maybe 6 months, to try and see how the thing will work before they introduce it.
Dari, do you go with this notion, or you have a contrary view altogether?
Well, I'm just afraid that we appear to be in a hurry. That's the truth. Yeah, these policies are good. It's meant to sort of sanitize our financial system. Good. It's meant to, railroad us, as it were, towards cashless policy. Either we are ready or not. That's my fear. Because if you say, look at it, for instance, 200 naira will be the highest denomination from an ATM, and the highest you can get with 20,000 naira
per week.
That's it, if it's 100,000 naira per week. So if you know the volume of cash the informal sector needs to operate, you'll understand that this will create a lot of problems. Forget the formal sector. We always find a way around it. If the transfer is not working, you can call your account officer and all that. But what happens to those artisans who they have a contract on their hand, a building contract, for example? He needs to pay laborers. He got the money already in his account from the owner of the project. So every day he goes to withdraw money. He doesn't even have to go to the bank anymore. All these POS people there, he withdraws money and pay this malam 20,000, 15,000, 10,000. And on a daily basis, this man will have to make use of not less than 120, 150 naira, 1,000 naira cash. If all he can get, because the moment we limit the ATM withdrawals, it will affect the POS. If they can't get, they won't be able to give, because the cash they use is from the ATM. So I think whatever is worth doing at all is worth doing well. We must localize all policies. It's not as if these things are bad, but it's not the way we just receive garbage in, garbage out. No. Let's try and look at our own system. Our peculiarities.
Absolutely.
The truth about us for now is that these things are alien to us. This cashless policy, this online banking, is still, we have to get used to it gradually. And we must be able to, there are still places in this country where internet banking is still an impossibility. There are still places where the network itself it's neither here nor there. I have a rural area that I communicate with that. I know that before 7 in the evening, phone calls don't go through. Even if they pick it, you won't hear what they are saying. And if you must talk to them, you talk to them before 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
So 7 in the evening upward till 8 in the morning, it will be effortless. But after that, the noon hours, 10 in the morning till 6 in the afternoon or in the evening, you can't get through. If that's phone call. So what happens in such a situation with internet network? So we must examine our peculiarities and recognize them and respect them in everything we want to do. Because I don't see how Nigerians will survive, let me put it that way, with this kind of 100,000 a week ATM withdrawal. Even traders, petty traders, what they do is, the moment they sell, they go and buy more. If such people need to quickly take some money, what will happen? Let me tell you. The likely consequence of this is that people will stop putting money in the bank. Yes, if I can't get my money when I need it, why should I? That is the likely consequence. And you know what that will still do to our economy. So we must look at it, juxtapose all these issues and get the best.
Yeah, so you want to add something?
In fact, that was the main issue of one expert yesterday evening, that the fear of the unknown will force people to put their money in their houses and not the banks. You know, on the face value, there's nothing wrong with this policy. You know, there's nothing wrong with this policy. Nigeria need to graduate
gradually
from this. We need to move in line with the world. You know, but we don't do it in a jiffy. I mean, why the rush? Let's put in mechanisms. Let's put in place things that will make it work.
Mechanisms like what? Exactly?
Absolutely. For example, as Daddy said, if I'm sending money to my mother, for example, in Auchi, she doesn't have an ATM card. Even if she has one, she doesn't know how to operate it. You have to give it to a nephew. If we go to the bank and withdraw the money, cash for her. You know, and even at that, at times the ATM machine will not work. No internet. You know, and these things, we are not, Nigeria is not an advanced country yet. There are some things that are not working here. Ordinary things like power supply, internet banking. Internet banking can be very difficult. You are going to give someone money, even in Lagos, and you are rushing to the place, all of a sudden, the thing is not working.
But if we give this as an excuse for us not to develop or to move
at par, that's why I said, it has to be gradual. That's why I said, my reason was very clear, my position. There is a very good policy. And I said at the initial stage that the CBN, you know, my assumption is that they are doing it to safeguard so people will not,
cash flow.
They will not manipulate the new policy they are introducing to safeguard some loopholes. Yeah. You know, that's what they are doing. But how can you say January 9, for it to be effective. No, how can I? me, I will.
You mean it's too short?
It's too short.
Shortly after the festive season.
Yes, I don't even manage a year. That banking, ATM machine. If you travel outside Lagos, you see people queuing, you see a lot of queue.
On the ATM machine.
It will only get worse. So what we are saying, I don't think any reasonable person will be against it. And as I said, we should appreciate the CBN, the effort so far. But at the same time, we have to be pragmatic to know that the informal sector is a critical part of our economy. Because Nigeria's economy is still a bit subsidiary. So we need to give room for these people to know how to use it, so that they will not graduate into it. But the way it's going, January 9, to me, is too short. And
with that being said, Dari, if the time is too short, so what do you think the CBN needs to do at this point? Perhaps extend it, because that's already given out its data and the policy already is statement out.
Time. Relax the ceiling. 100,000 naira a week. I think we need to reconsider that too. I say this because what's the volume of cash needed in the informal sector, until we find a way of ensuring that they also graduate with us into the use of internet banking and all these other mechanisms, we have to keep considering them.
Absolutely.
Go to my 12 market. Somebody is going to the market to shop for the family. You need 80,000, 120,000. And now, leaving the office, realizing that, oh, I need to do some shopping today. I got to the internet, the IC can take is 20,000 naira. The implication is that she will have to repeat the trip to the market 4 times. If care is not taken, then you consider traffic. You begin to understand why we need to. And then, oh, you want to tell me that you can take the 20,000 and go and do transfer of.
But is it a?
You can do transfer of the rest. Yes. I tell you, yesterday, I was not with cash at all, and I needed to get something 1,000 naira. I tried withdrawing money. The bank I was using, they said that's network issue. So I decided that, okay, I'll go to the place. I sent money, and I waited almost 20 minutes.
All right, let me hold your thoughts on this, because we have a caller all the way from the UK. Michael, please go ahead with your contribution. Oh dear. Michael, are you still there? Apologies, perhaps maybe we've lost the connection.
So
okay, go ahead.
The delay in even confirming the transfers. Sometimes, in fairness with both parties, this money just hangs somewhere. I've had issues with transfer that I made that did not get delivered until the second day. I'm sure we've all experienced it. Yeah. So what happens if that is what I have to rely on in my 12? I go to a pepper seller and I've just transferred 10,000 naira for a basket of tomato, and I have to sleep there till tomorrow.
Okay, I understand we have Michael back online.
Need to understand.
Let's quickly have Michael back online. Michael, please go ahead with your contribution.
Hello, thank you very much. Regarding the CBN, and cash withdrawal, I think what they're missing out, like, your guests in the studio, they said all the right things. But when launching out a product, the banking policy, I believe that definitely you should get to test it against the reality in the market. Because definitely, like Nigerians, the exposure to internet banking and a lot of things is kind of very low. Then when they said 100,000, I believe even for an individual, there are some families or individuals that their weekly expenses is even more than that. Because at the end of the day, you're telling someone that, okay, they're only limited to a certain number of cash, and then what do? What would the normal, day-to-day trader, how would they be able to live with that kind of policy? So I believe, my view is that I believe their policy is not really being tested against the reality on ground. And to me, that is a wrong way to launch a policy like that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your insights, Michael. Thank you so much for your insight. Now, let me come back to you, Dari. You made a valid point. But, some argument this is the argument. You're withdrawing 100,000 a week, making 400,000 a month. How many people earn that amount? I don't know. But if you were to look at it in a logical sense, you cannot withdraw 20,000 naira daily. So even if you are to do the math, For instance, I'm a woman, I go to the market, I know how I shop and everything. So if I were to do the calculation, I would say, okay, Monday I withdraw 20,000, Tuesday I withdraw 20,000, Thursday, Wednesday I withdraw another 20,000, making 60,000. So I have the money in my hand.
Let me ask you
I prepare it for the week of my shopping.
Ask you a question. Where do you keep the money Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
In my own comfort. At least in my home, or in my home at least.
So that's exactly what we are saying. That in the long run, more monies will leave the bank and end up in the houses. And that's not good for our economy either, if you must know. That is one. I just have to point that out to you, that it is exactly what we fear, that we end up, because you know how much you need. You now start doing Babalajo, maybe you even get Yalajo to be keeping the money for you eventually. That is on one side. On the other side is the fact that you are looking at the individual expenses. That's not the entirety of our economy. That's not the entirety of the informal sector. We talk about people who need money to do business.
On a daily basis.
On a daily basis. We talk about the tailor who needs to go and buy garments daily as the demands come. We talk about a building contractor who needs to pay his workers as demands. We talk about an egg seller who needs to sell and rush to the poultry to go and buy.
Major point.
So this affects majorly the business owners.
Not just them. I'm telling you that we must not look at, because I've had somebody do the same mathematics you did.
Right.
If you are to withdraw 400,000 a month, that's more than the salary of some people. I agree. But we're not talking about personal earnings and personal expenditures. It's an economy. Our personal earnings are part of it. The businesses of some people rely on daily cash. There are people who a laborer, wherever it comes from, not all of them even have account to collect money from you. You say, you have finished work today. I'll send your 12,000 naira labor money into your account. He will look at you. There are those who, the I-9 is not even working. He does not even know where his ATM is. And all he rely on daily is, give me my money in my hand. He comes to work, not having transport to even go back. But when you pay him his daily money, he will eat, and he knows how to keep the rest.
Right.
Whether he saves it in the bank or with a contributory pension or whatever, you don't know. So we cannot assume at this point just yet that we are ready for this.
Before I take your contribution, let me quickly get this. Moses from Abuja, please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, good evening. We can hear you. Go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, Moses coming from Abuja. Please, I want to speak briefly on this new policy of CBN. I want to speak from the perspective of the POS operators. Whether we like it or not, the POS business has come to stay in Nigeria, and in a way, it has taken so many youth from the streets. But with this policy now, I don't know if it is going to affect them also, because if they cannot get withdrawal from the bank or from the ATM machine, then how would they run their business? Because that is where most of them feed on. That is one. Then secondly, if they are to go through the counter, that's all that you have to withdraw a maximum of 100,000 in a day. If you want to withdraw more than that, you pay 5% of it. If I'm to pay 5% of whatever amount and to pay, then definitely I have to transfer that to the end those that will come and withdraw. So in a way, we are still going to shift more burden to the Nigerians who are going to use those, who are using those platforms. So I think this policy.
Thank you so much for your insights. We appreciate your contribution. Habib, you have something to say?
You see, if you look at the general paradigm, you have to aggregate people's opinion on this policy. It's not good for the CBN, even though to me the CBN has their own point. They mean well, But how we advise that the outpouring of reservations that has been expressed by Nigerians should be looked into by the CBN. 1. 2, people that are supposed to implement this policy, the frontline people that will implement on the front line, they should be advised to be more circumspect, to be more careful in the way they should not be too rigid you know. And I will also advise the CBN to please move forward the date from 9 to maybe in June next year. Because people will suffer. A policy that will make people to suffer, that policy to me is not tidy. It's not a good one. So it will affect the economy. And as you said, Nigeria will not reach that stage yet. That people will say, okay, let me send money to you. No, we're not reach that stage yet. We don't even have we are not advanced to that level. We don't have the infrastructure.
Technology is
not there to do it. So we have to be very careful. Yes, good. Yes, for the new currency to be stabilized, for people not to mess it up, you know, not to create unnecessary loopholes. But at the same time, people should not suffer for the policy to be implemented.
You know, at the same time, there are some concerns that perhaps, you know, while this policy might be laudable, they say that the government, the CBN is focusing too much on this and rather, you know, shifting its attention on other issues such as the debt payments it has accumulated over the years. Perhaps it should focus more on the debts as against the energy expended on this
See,
issue altogether.
will have to go side by side. I don't want to agree that the CBN is leaving every other thing and focusing on this. No. If you look at what I would call the management of the Naira, the strength of the Naira so far, they've been trying.
Commendable.
They've been trying. It could have been worse.
Yeah.
But for certain quick moves, as I want to call them. So the CBN, to me, is having its hands in a lot of pies. This is just one of it. And don't mind our fears about the implementation. We actually need this policy. That's the truth. We need this policy. If Naira will compete favorably against other currencies the world over, we need to be where others are. And one of it is, I'm particularly happy about the idea of 200 Naira being the highest denomination you can get from an ATM. The implication is that there will be more 200 Nairas in circulation than other, and that will force some things to, be reasonably priced. I tell you, volume of money.
To control inflation?
It will control inflation, I tell you, in a way, because it will now be reasonable for me to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 200 Naira and give somebody who just gave birth.
Right.
Yes. But if all they see around is 1,000 Naira, I can't do one. I may not want to do one. They just take one and say, no. But if I have, you realize that now the lesser denominations are scarce.
Right.
Why 1,000 is everywhere?
Let me quickly take John from Jos. Oh, apologies, we've lost John on the line.
So in the lesser denomination, the more controlled spending is. For those who still believe in spraying musicians, if they don't get 200 Naira, they'll spray 1,000 Naira. That's how bad the habit is. So I think for also, 200 is the highest, meaning the 100 Naira will see it, 50 Naira will be there, and probably...
Perhaps the coins too.
And the coins. So I could now buy things for 40 Naira and expect to be given
change.
Do you have coins?
We have coins, but I'm just saying perhaps maybe the coins to imagine, perhaps.
We give because nothing goes for the price of coin again. That's how bad it is.
When we were growing up, they give us coins and we appreciate it.
When last did you even set your eyes on 10 Naira?
Long time.
10 Naira.
Long time.
I've not seen 5 Naira in a long time.
We'll have to do this discussion for that perhaps another time, but what's really cool.
So when I give you 50 Naira and buy something of 45 Naira, I spend my 5 Naira change now.
Definitely you will get it. Let's quickly go on a very quick break. You have more discussions on Journalist Hangout. Stay with us.
How important is comfort to you? Is it as important as the day you discovered that self-love is the start of good life? Here is a comfort that your self-love, Iderade. Transit into your serenity. The opportunity awaits you on this peace of mind as you pay in installments of 24 months with initial deposit of 500,000 Naira. Serenity at its finest.
are one of the few correctional services in the world that did not record COVID infection throughout. And I call this saying because it's the truth. And it goes to tell you the level of commitment, professionalism, and healthcare system that we have in our consular facilities. And that is not without the challenges we have. So we have 15 ambulances and several other such things. The way you can blame us for several other things, not healthcare. Not healthcare, no epidemic, not our system has got to a level in which we are proud.
This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Everyone has a Chivita this season. What's your Chivita?
This place will have a recreational park that is designed to make life comfortable. Wellness is key, and we are putting this place that will help people to, keep up on their health where they could burn their fat. And the timeline for this project is estimated to start and end within 18 months. But however, it starts in phases. The first phase is to get this place secured and gated, which is done.
Mowe is a growing city, and if you are very, very smart, then you realize that the Lagos-Ibadan expressway that is being developed is going to throw Mowe open furthermore.
People that have gone ahead of us have great investment here, and even way in the 90s, even before we thought about coming here. So I think it's a good idea, Iderade coming here.
Now it's electioneering season in Nigeria, and shades of opinions and action permeate the process. One of such is brewing outside the shores of the country. Nigerians in the diaspora have dragged President Buhari and the Independent National Electoral Commission before a federal high court sitting in Abuja, insisting that they must be allowed to take part in next year's elections. While the plaintiffs, who told the court that they are residents in the United Kingdom and various parts of the world, are seeking an order to compel INEC to allow them to vote. And they maintain that continued refusal by the electoral body to create room for them to take part in the elections amounts to a gross violation of their fundamental human rights. Habib, what do you make of this development now that elections are drawing closer? Do you see this as a valid case?
I think they are not trying to stop the elections. What they are doing is to bring the issue to the front burner. That come, we are Nigerians, maybe we are dual citizens, but we are entitled to vote in elections. We are entitled to participate in elections, in the running process, in the voting process. That's what they're trying to do. And I don't think the judiciary will be so careless in using this excuse to stop elections. But if you ask me, the constitution will have to be amended for what you're asking for to be included. So to have a good case. The constitution is not amended. There's nowhere in the constitution that is written that you can vote from abroad.
Diaspora voting.
Diaspora voting. In some advanced countries, we have absentee voters. Or mailing voting system.
Yeah.
If you're not able to participate individually, if you're not on ground in the countries, and you are residents abroad, the constitution provides you, give you an opportunity to send in your mail by voting or by other ways. But in Nigeria, that is not the case. I think there has been a topic of discussion all these years. I think they are raising this issue because we have elections next year. And I think they have a point. Let them push this thing forward. Let them test the system. Test the system. Let's see what comes out of it. But the constitution needs to be amended for what they're asking for.
Right.
To be given.
So with that being said, Dari, if the constitution needs to be amended, what needs to be done? What are the processes involved if we're to pursue this in terms of ensuring that we have diaspora voting in our constitution and in our electoral act?
We just went through constitutional amendment processes championed by the National Assembly. And we saw that many parts of our constitution were amended. New things were introduced to further strengthen the system. And I think this development is not new. I want to believe that when proposals were demanded and submissions were being made to the National Assembly and Constitution, they must have made their own proposals, sending their own position. In its wisdom, the National Assembly did not attend to it just yet. That's not to say it will not come to pass. Maybe they looked at a lot of things and the environment is not ripe or ready for it yet. I'm not speaking for them. But I am worried about this decision to go to court. I don't think it's tidy. We must avoid all forms of booby traps for this 2020. You see, when I read that for the first time, remember 1993 and the Nzeribe and others case, and I didn't like it. Because sometimes some things we do carelessly ends up becoming some sort of booby traps for other intentions. These people are not just anybody. They are professionals, residents abroad. I'm sure lawyers and legal luminaries are among them. They know that there is no way the court will say, irrespective of what the Constitution says, you have to accommodate these people. That is one. They know that INEC is making provisions already, and they are not part of that provisions. If anything happens and they have to vote, it will require the INEC, start all over. They know what
the rigors,
what the position of our laws, our books are as of today on this issue. Knowing all this, they also know the law, and that's where my fear is. We cannot predict. Everyone was saying there is no way they will get what they want unless the Constitution. I don't believe so. The law is an ass. They may decide not to look at it from the angle of what the Constitution says about voting, but from the angle of fundamental human rights. And I will get into some trouble. You see, when it comes to issue of law, courts, litigations, I'm always very concerned, especially when those initiating these moves are no pushovers. There are people who know what they are doing. They have tested it. You said they should test the law. They have sat down, tested it very well between themselves, argued it over and said, there is this, we can go in through this. They are talking about fundamental human rights. It's a right to vote since they are Nigerians. We don't know the argument they will present to one judge, and the judge will look at it and say, hey, this is true. Why not accommodate them? The Federal High Court sitting in somewhere have said, bam, trouble has started. It has to be appealed. They will go to appeal, say no, throw it away. 2 weeks to election, we are waiting for Supreme Court, and there will be anxiety. Some people already look at it that, why should I go and vote? That Supreme Court can say tomorrow that it's null and void. Then morale is lampooned, interest is defeated, anxiety is created. Well, I agree that we should look in the direction of diaspora voting because they are Nigerians. They contribute to our economy even by mere sending money home.
A lot of money.
If you know the volume of what comes in from these people,
a lot of money.
Many of them have businesses sited here that people run for them and they are based there. They make money there, establish businesses here, employ people and pay them salaries. So we cannot correctly or fairly ignore them and think that that's how it will continue. But I want to appeal that don't let's joke with the head of the snake. Because this idea of going to court to test this thing at this crucial time, I'm not comfortable with it. And I appeal to them that there are better ways to
resolve this.
Right? No, to create. I agree with you. When they want to create awareness, it's good though. But they should be doing press conferences and, if possible, protests. But not. No, they should not go to court. It's too It's too dangerous.
It's too dicey.
It's too dangerous.
Habib.
I don't share that sentiment.
Okay.
Because, you see, democracy is a journey. It's not a destination. There are pitfalls on the journey to democracy. Even America, the most admired democratic country in the whole world, you know, it's their problems. They still have a Trump whose presence itself is significant to go to the democracy. So if these people are saying that they have approached NAS, National Assembly is not responding, it's not to dispose to their demands. At any point of stops of the president abroad, these are the things they used to raise. When are you going to vote? We are Nigerians. They are contributing to your economy. Last year, I think they brought more than $20 billion to the economy. After India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, Nigeria is the other country. So I think there is a genuine demand that they are making. But at the same time, you know, we should not be too afraid to test all these systems. You know, I don't think a judge will give you what you do not demand.
Right.
Absolutely.
They are demanding that the election should be stopped.
You can only give you what you demand. If
they are demanding that the election should be stopped.
Stoppage, the judge will remind them that it's in the constitution that you must vote. You should not be too afraid, you know, to test all these things. That's my point. You know, I don't think that can be compared to the BBN. You know.
No,
it's not compatible. It's not the same context.
But if this is the case, Habib, how do you think this can be resolved? Because already from Dari's own point of view, it will create anxiety, and possibly we don't know what the future will hold with the elections. But how do you think this can be managed?
To see the judiciary, according to Apadorai, the judiciary is a major plank of democracy. They can do and undo, judiciary. And by trying to seek solace for the judiciary, they don't know what they are doing. And the judge too will look at the case, that the world is watching, we do the right thing. You know. But as I said, it's an attempt by them to let the world know, to Nigerians know that we are here waiting. We need to vote. So I think by this, major stakeholders, the executive and legislature, we come to the understanding of the fact that there is a need for urgency to deal with this matter.
All right, let me hold your thoughts on that. Let's quickly take this call. Idris from Bida, please go ahead with your contribution.
Hello?
Good evening. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. How is it?
Go ahead with your contribution,
Hello?
Idris. We can hear you. Go ahead.
So, please, what I want to say pertaining to what people are discussing, people that are taking the federal government in Nigeria here to the court. Hello? Can you hear me?
Idris, we can hear you. If you can't hear me, perhaps we will have to cut off the line.
No, that is what I'm saying. If they are saying that they need to contribute, I mean, they need to vote, they see their right. Of course, nobody is disputing that. What about people even within Nigeria here, and they are not in the base where they were having access to vote? If they need to vote, and of course they know that is their right, then they should come to Nigeria. Afterwards, they should return home. They should stop causing issue one way or the other when they are being supported, or maybe they are being pushed by or maybe some politicians. It is not ideal. We need peace in Nigeria. We don't want all this talk, all these issues that we cannot be able to handle. Even if we can handle it, we don't need to be troublesome each other another.
All right, point taken there, Idris. Thank you so much for your contribution. Dari.
That's exactly what I'm saying, the anxiety.
It's an opinion anyway.
That's anxiety. It's anxious that these people have, he said something, which I don't share.
So maybe they're being put on politicians.
No. But that is the kind of thing that will happen when you have situations like 1, 2, 3 people begin to feel that way. Then one disgruntled or opportunistic politicians to see it as something you can
whip sentiments.
We used to get some sentiments, and then before you know it, we have that on our hand. I can only appeal to my brothers and sisters in the diaspora that the issue is fundamental, it is serious, it is germane. But there are better ways to create awareness. You don't sleep peacefully or comfortably when there is fire on your rooftop. I'm sure they don't want to stop the election. I agree with you. They don't want to stop the election. They just feel that let's create some serious issues here. Yes, this is serious enough for anybody. Even I'm sure INEC will be worried. National Assembly that release money for INEC to go and do election will be bothered. Federal government that is packing its load to go and somebody else will be worried. Nobody wants any serious issue
to disrupt the process.
Let the process just move
seamlessly.
But this is something nobody will ignore. They made their mark. If they know how to go and withdraw the case, I will appreciate it too.
All right, that's a fine place to leave it. Let's quickly move on to our next issue of focus, which is now peace appears to have been achieved in Adamawa State, but a chapter of the All Progressives Congress over the disputed governorship ticket. One of the gladiators in the fight for the APC ticket, Nuhu Ribadu, has withdrawn his legal battle against the candidacy of Senator Aishatu Dahiru Binani. Ribadu, who lost the governorship ticket to Binani, had challenged her victory before a federal high court in the state, alleging overvoting in a primary election held sometime in May. Now, the court annulled the primaries, but an appeal court sitting in Yola confirmed Binani as the duly elected APC governorship candidate in Adamawa State. So, is it Uhuru for Binani? Habib, what do you make of this? Do you think the coast is clear for Binani?
For a party to contest, to be a serious contender in an election, that party must be united. You know. And I think it's a move in the right direction. I've visited Adamawa twice, and as a political reporter, to cover elections. When Murutala Nyako was the governor, you know, when another party defeated Atiku Abubakar, PDP, Nyako, Buhari and Co. defeated Atiku Abubakar. So that state has been very, it's a state of, having a lot of interest in that state. You know, so when this lady became the ABC candidate, I was interested, right? Because the woman is very beautiful lady, you know. But what is on ground there now? Don't forget, Adamawa is the state of Atiku Abubakar. The governor is a PDP governor, so it will be difficult for APC to win Adamawa State.
Really?
What is on ground? The arithmetic on ground does not favor the APC.
Not even with this united front that they seem to have posited already.
But APC can garner 30% or 40% of the vote on ground presently. But it's difficult for them to win the state. That's my opinion. Or the way I'm reading the permutations, right? So the realities on ground in that state, considering the nature and nature character of that state, you know. But it's good for. I was thinking that they would lose woefully before this reconciliation move was made by Ribadu. But with this reconciliation and the coming together of the gladiators, the leaders of APC, you know, they will likely do well. But I don't think they will upend
the PDP.
The PDP.
Dari, do you share the same sentiments, or you think they could be the other way around?
About peace.
About the PDP retaining seats or the APC upturning?
That to me is a battleground. Either of the two parties can win, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
The governor is PDP. Power of incumbency give it to him. But today, within his own party, there are more troubles than you have in the APC. The senatorial districts, as of today now, is having only one. APC is having two. As of today. And they started out with 2 against 1. This woman and what's the name of that senator that slapped somebody at the beginning of his tenure, that young chap.
I don't seem to remember.
He was in PDP. So because of infightings, he left. Now he's in APC. What I am telling you is, then the House of Reps members too, they're sharing it. Ditto, a good number of the assembly members are in APC. And then this woman enjoys a widespread popularity in the state. My worry for her was, if she does not have no Ribadu
on her side,
and his people, not just no Ribadu, a lot of other people with him on her side, there was no way she was going to win the election. But with no Ribadu and others reconciling with her, the sitting governor, who also is a well-grounded grassroots politician, was speaker, he was acting governor, and now governor, he will have to sit tight. PDP is not united, as it were, in Adamawa State. It's not as united as you want, because the processes of the primary election were so chorus and this Evelyn that a lot of many of those who lost tickets are yet to be pacified. And exactly the same thing I was saying about the APC system when we went to court. Ribadu is known to be a party man wherever he is. Something was not done. And from what I heard, after the appeal court judgment, a committee was set up even by the leaders at national level and state, and Binani eventually did, the needful. It went to him. You cannot defeat me in an election and make me look like I don't exist. Exactly the problem with PDP at the national level.
Yeah.
What was Wike saying? Is that he was counting days. 2 weeks after our primary, Atiku has not visited me. He was even saying it in the newspaper. 2 months after primary, and nobody took him serious until he became what he. Common sense prevailed in Adamawa APC. Binani did the needful. Now APC is united. All their eggs in one good basket. Not just a basket, but good basket. PDP too now. Power of incumbency, Atiku presidency is a factor. That's one of the reasons why PDP could win.
That's what you don't mention initially.
Atiku will rally the people. But don't forget, like we said, Atiku has been defeated in that state before. And he was running for presidency then too. So it is either here or there. Will this set of politicians in APC today be able to repeat that feat? Can they defeat Atiku in Adamawa? With him on the ballot, they will have to prove their mettle. But no Ribadu, Bindo, Binani, and others. Ishaku, that's the center I'm trying to remember. All of them in one team now. If they don't defeat the PDP, they'll give PDP a good run
for their money.
That I'm sure of. And they stand a chance.
You see,
of obtaining the PDP.
I differ with you because you see, the politics of Adamawa, just like the one we have in Taraba.
Exactly.
It's unlike the one in Borno and Yobe. And Zamfara. Borno and Yobe they are a bit similar. Adamawa and Taraba, a PDP state, Adamawa. Taraba. But you see, in Adamawa, as Randy said, it will be very difficult. Even the senator you mentioned, Shaku, is not only totally with APC.
With this reconciliation now, he was with the no Ribadu faction.
That senator and Babacha, they are together.
No, they announced Babacha once or twice about his new clamor.
As I said, it will be difficult. I see APC winning Yobe. I see them winning Borno.
But the Adamawa, it is going to be very difficult.
I don't see them winning Taraba and Adamawa because of the peculiarity. What is on ground there?
Taraba too is open.
Atiku will spend his last dime.
Not to be
on his
don't like saying that PDP will be in Lagos. It's difficult.
I'm only relying on
that. But the issue about the party being being united could perhaps
No, I agree with that. I agree with Dari.
Okay.
That this unity will give them that formidability.
Right.
To fight the PDP. But that does not translate to victory for them.
But you also understand
that is a means to an end.
You also understand Adamawa's politics that they are not a state that actually stay with one party.
No, I don't like Bauchi.
Just like Bauchi. At a point, was it SDP or what was the Yakos using? Almost took this state. If you look at the votes cast. So
in those places,
it's not cast in stone.
In those places, votes count.
And they vote. They count their vote. They know themselves. Vote, I vote.
Yes.
Protect the vote, I protect. Now count. So those are places where, over the years, election has always been about who is popular.
Right.
And which party has spread. So I think sincerely, it's going to be interesting watching Adamawa. Taraba is another place, I rightly said, with Boacha as the candidate of APC. You will remember that Boacha used to be one of the key men for PDP. And he has displayed that since 1999. He's been there, not moving. He's been in and out of. He's been in the National Assembly there, 1999, rotating himself, winning elections for PDP. But this time around, he's the candidate of APC. And the issue of zoning, too, is there. Those are factors that will determine who eventually wins. The PDP enjoys incumbency. Especially in Taraba, they've been very steady, very, very steady.
Since 1999?
Since 1999. It's just that it has just been some form of rotation. People move from this party to this party, but PDP wins. People move here and move here, PDP wins, you know. But this 2023 looks like a test year for Taraba.
Yeah, for surprise, right?
I'm not even as convinced about Taraba
it's not
as I am.
It's not a toss-up.
You know, I am more convinced that APC could win in Adamawa than I am in Taraba.
It's easier in
Taraba
Adamawa
for me. It's going to be easier in Adamawa because of certain factors. But in Taraba, PDP just looks steady. To me, it looks steady.
The dominant party
Final
there.
thoughts.
The people in APC are just Boacha and co.
My final thought is that I wish the woman well in APC because of its beauty and its popularity. Because you see, if you look at our programs,
so you know, been using the word beauty.
No, because the woman is.
But he's appreciating.
Yes, I just appreciate it. And for the fact that she's the only woman in the ballot. Ballot in Nigeria.
All over the country.
You know, the primary was rigorous.
Keenly contested.
And she demonstrated that ability and
resilience.
An unusual capacity and resilience. That's the word. That this is a men's
but I want to pick.
But I'm here. And the guy was defeated.
And the same thing she did to win the senatorial ticket.
Very, very popular. So I wish her well.
Indeed. Want to add final things?
Yeah. Let's wish her well.
Wishing her well.
If just for us to support the Beijing conference.
Just support the female gender.
The principle. Not really female agenda, but I don't know, sincerely, I want to see a female governor in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I just want to see what, at least, let's see what she
can
do.
Yeah.
So that when you start abusing the men, we can say, we have an example too. So
okay, let's leave it at that for now, gentlemen. Thank you very much, Dario Odufuwoko and Habib Aruna. We appreciate your insights on the show this evening. Well, that's about it on Journalist Hangout. Join us again tomorrow for another episode of the program, and you'll watch a repeat broadcast of the show tonight at 11. Join us again on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Esther Mafarella. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
My name is Femi Adebayo. This holiday season, StarTimes is taking us to a better level. You can step up your family entertainment with the StarTimes upgrade promo. You recharge 2 months on Nova Bouquet and get upgraded to Basic or Smart Bouquet. Recharge 2 months on Basic or Smart Bouquet, you get upgraded to Classic or Super Bouquet. And if you recharge 2 months on Classic or Super Bouquet, you get 10 days free on your subscription. This upgrade automatically qualifies you for a weekly draw to win 55 inches Smart TV, PA systems, home appliances, and more. These prizes are proudly sponsored by Longreach, Wayon, and Amaz. This promo is from the 15th November to 15th January 2023. Times and conditions apply. On StarTimes, every day is the best day ever. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. StarTimes. Entertain your family.
When you think of a university, you think of a place where you will go to cut out your future. And when you get there, you realize there's a lot more to it. The beautiful structures, facilities, and ambience. A place where you meet great minds, experience different cultures, and master the art of fundamental problem solving. Be part of a whole different study experience with Kampala International University. KIU, exploring the heights.
This is Doha, this is Qatar. We come together tonight, 1 billion of us, in every corner of the globe where the beautiful game matters.
Here for the show-stopping magic of a moment.
Watch all Qatar 2022 games on DSTV from as little as 2,950 naira to get a front row seat to all the action. Connect by dialing *288# or download the My DSTV app here for Nigeria.
In the month of December, on the 1st, it is World AIDS Day. On the 3rd, attention shifts to persons living with disabilities. And December 9th is dedicated to International Anti-Corruption Day. 10th is Human Rights Day, while the 11th is the 2nd anniversary of the abduction of over 300 students in Kankara, Katsina State. On the 12th of December, the World Health Organization dedicates the day as Universal Health Coverage Day. On the 17th of December, the abducted Kankara boys were freed 6 days after. 18th of December is set aside as International Migrants Day. It is the last month of the year. Brace yourself for an interesting December. Stay with TVC News. Monkeypox is caused by a virus of same name that is closely related to now eradicated smallpox. The likely symptoms of monkeypox are fever, headache, muscle aches, back pain, low energy, rash, swollen lymph nodes, among others. How does the monkeypox virus get spread? You can get the virus through close contact with an infected person and also through physical contact with an infected animal. To get monkeypox treatment, you need to see a physician. Here are the steps to protect yourself from monkeypox virus. Step 1. Avoid close contact with suspected or confirmed monkeypox cases. Step 2. Avoid physical touch with animals who could be infected. Step 3. Frequently clean and disinfect environments that could have been contaminated. We all need to join hands together to protect ourselves from this virus. This campaign is brought to you by TVC Communication.
The TVC News at 7 and the TVC News at 10 are not like any other news broadcast.
It's the big news hour, the hour for the big breaking stories.
We've got some of the best reporters on the field,
taking you through as it happens.
It's fast-paced, hard-hitting,
with investigations that matter.
bringing in news that affects your life.
With sport, entertainment, and business news, so you don't miss a thing.
Experience resourceful coverage with depth.
Every
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello, welcome to TVC News at 6. Let's begin in the nation's capital, where the National Judicial Council reinstated Justice Rita Ofili Ajimogobia as a judge of the Federal High Court. This was contained in a circular signed by the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Soho. It said the decision was taken at the meeting of the National Judicial Council held on the 1st of December 2022. The reinstatement takes instant effect